Functional testing is a type of QA testing that ensures that the software system behaves according to the defined specifications. It focuses on testing the application against the functional requirements and ensures each feature operates as expected. Key aspects of functional testing. Objective: verify that each function of the software application works in conformance with the requirement specification. Scope: tests all user interactions, APIs, database operations, security features, and other functionality defined in the requirements. Focus: primarily focuses on what the system does rather than how it performs. Types of functional testing. Unit testing: tests individual components of the software to ensure that each unit functions correctly in isolation. Smoke testing: initial testing to check whether the critical functionalities of the application are working. Sanity testing: a subset of regression testing focused on verifying specific functionality after minor changes or fixes. Regression testing ensures that new changes have not adversely impacted existing features. User acceptance testing, UAT, validates the end-to-end business flow and ensures the application meets business requirements and is ready for production. Functional testing workflow. Requirement analysis: understand the application's requirements and identify the functions that need to be tested. Test planning: define the test strategy, select testing tools, and identify test cases based on requirements. Test case design: write test cases that cover different scenarios, including positive, negative, and edge cases. Test environment setup: configure the test environment to match production as closely as possible. Test execution: run test cases and document the results. Test reporting: log defects, report test outcomes, and provide feedback to the development team. Retesting and regression testing: retest fixed defects and perform regression testing to ensure stability. Tools for functional testing. Selenium, for browser-based automation testing. JUnit/TestNG, commonly used for Java-based applications. PyTest, widely used for Python applications with easy integration for functional and API tests. Postman, for testing APIs to validate endpoints, request/response formats, and data flow. Qtp/UFT, provides automated testing of GUI and backend components. Best practices for functional testing. Clear test cases: ensure test cases are clear, concise, and easy to understand. Include expected outcomes. Prioritize testing: focus on testing the most critical functionality first, including user workflows and frequently used features. Data-driven testing: use different input data sets to ensure comprehensive coverage of scenarios. Automation: automate repetitive and regression tests to save time and reduce human error. Continuous feedback: regularly review test cases and results with stakeholders to ensure alignment with business objectives. Example of functional testing with PyTest, Python. Here's a simple example of how you might write a functional test in Python using PyTest. #test_login.py. Import ptest. From Selenium, import WebDriver. Add ptest.fixture. Def setup. Driver equals webdriver.chrome, #replace with the driver path. Driver.get, https://example.com/login, #replace with the application URL. Yield driver. Driver.quit. Def test_valid_login, setup. Driver equals setup. Driver.find_element_by_id, username, .send_keys, valid_user. Driver.find_element_by_id, password, .send_keys, valid underscore password. Driver.find underscore element underscore by underscore ID, login button, click. Hashtag assertion to check if login was successful. Assert welcome in driver.page underscore source. Def test underscore invalid underscore login, setup. Driver equals setup. Driver.find underscore element underscore by underscore ID, username, send underscore keys, invalid underscore user. Driver.find underscore element underscore by underscore ID, password, send underscore keys, invalid underscore password. Driver.find underscore element underscore by underscore ID, login button, click. Hashtag assertion to check if an error message is displayed. Assert invalid credentials in driver.page underscore source. This example demonstrates how to automate functional tests for a login feature, covering both valid and invalid login scenarios.